Okay, so hello guys. For this video, we are going to continue the discussion for the Laplace transform topic. But this time, the focus of our discussion is on trigonometric functions, specifically on the sine and cosine functions. So we are going to perform the same operations like what we have done in the previous discussion video. So take note that in the process of transforming from your T domain to your S domain, so we are going to perform the operation using the formula for the transformation. So the formula would be, so to transform into S domain, so we can use the formula. So integral of from 0 to infinity of your given nga T domain nga function multiplied by E negative st, which is our kernel of transformation, then dt. And then any value of your function of t will be substituted here. So for example, just like what I have said, we will be transforming the function where ang aton nga given will be function of t is equal to cosine of certain function. So we are going to use AT here, wherein A should represent any possible constant. So we have to perform the operation to substitute it here in order for us to find the Laplace transform. So this will be equal to, so this is equal to the integral from multiplied by e raised to negative st. Okay, so this is now our equation. So we are going to perform the operation. So again, take note that just like the previous video, we have, so this is a function. So we have the cosine here and we have the exponential here. So because may ara kita duwa ka function, we need to perform the integration by parts. So in the process of integration by parts, so we are going to identify based sa duwa ka function kung din ang aton nga himuon nga u and kung ano ang aton himuon nga dv. So amo na aton nga kinahanglan himuon. So in the selection of your u, kung anong imo pilion nga u, we have the priority nga pwede basihan. So in that priority, we kung ano gid ang aton nga priority una-una. May logarithmic ka, so that will be your u. Next, kung may ara ka inverse, that will be your u. Depende kung di ang nauna sa ila. So we have your algebraic also. We have your trigonometric, and then we have your exponential. So we have tatlo dari or any dari. So kung may duwa ka dari ka function nga na-involve, so kung anong mas una, so amo nang imo nga u. So this time, we have your trigonometric and we have your exponential. So that means, mas una ang trigonometric function. So ang imo nga u will be the trigonometric function. So in this equation, ang aton nga trigonometric function is your cosine. So cosine, amo na nga aton nga himuon nga. So u naton will be equal to cosine of your a t. Then aton nga dv will be to e raised to negative st dt. So we are going to derive para makuha natin ang value sa aton nga du. Du will be equal to derivative of your cosine is equal to negative sine. So copy the original equation at, then derive ang inner function. Derivative of at will be equal to a. So this is negative a sine at. So let us also find the value of v. So to find the value of v, we have to integrate this function. So v is equal to, so hindi na natin siya pag-i-detailed pa because we were able to discuss this in previous video, but we will come up with the answer nga ang v will be equal to negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. So this is ang aton nga v nga value. And then if we perform the the integration by parts, we have to substitute it sa aton nga equation. So, para mo ang integral niya, so we have to substitute sa equation nga uv minus the integral of v du. So, this is for the general nga equation kung mag-perform ka sa integration by parts. But if you will be performing a definite integral, so we have to substitute value of the lower limit and the upper limit. So we have the lower limit and the upper limit also. So we are going to substitute now. Balik kita sa aton equation, substitute natin ang value. So this is equal to uv minus integral of v du. U natin will be cosine of your 80 multiplied by sa aton equation, which is negative 1 all over e raised to negative st. So, evaluated from your lower limit nga 0 up to the upper limit nga infinity. Minus the integral of your equation from 0 to infinity, where na nga yung equation is v, negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. So, multiplied by the du naton, which is negative a sine 80. Okay, so let us now perform and evaluate the equation natin today. So we have okay, so let us perform and evaluate this equation here. So we are going to substitute our upper limit minus the lower limit. So this is equal to, substitute natin ang infinity sa tanan nga t. So this is equal to cosine. A times infinity will be equal to infinity minus, copy natin ang negative, wala minus, this is multiplication. So we are going to multiply negative 1 all over s e raised to negative s multiplied by, so substitute kita infinity. So this is the upper limit. So we are going to substitute sa aton nga lower limit. So this is equal to cosine a times 0 will be equal to 0 multiplied by negative 1 all over s e raised to negative s multiplied by 0. So this is now aton nga unang equation. And then let us copy lang danay sa aton nga second equation. So we have from 0 to infinity of your negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st multiplied by negative a sine 80. Okay, so let us simplify the equation. So take note of the equation here. We have e raised to negative s multiplied by infinity. Infinity times s will be equal to infinity. So e raised to infinity will be approximately equal to 0. So this is equal to 0. So any equation multiplied by 0, the entire equation will be equal to 0. This time, we have, so take note, e raised to negative s multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0 ang aton exponent. So e raised to 0 will be equal to 1. So this is equal to 1. Cosine 0 will be equal to 1 also. So ang mabilin diri sa aton equation will be negative 1 all over s. So multiplied by negative, so this will be equal to 1 all over. So 1 all over s ang mabilin sa aton nga first equation minus the integral of, so a is constant here, so negative a is constant, negative 1 over s is constant, kaya wala man siya t nga equation, so pwede natin sila ipagwa. So we will have negative times negative will be positive, multiplied by negative will be negative. So we will have negative sigwa, then we will have A all over S. Negative A all over S. So evaluating from 0 to infinity, so ang mabilin sa sulod will be E raised to negative ST multiplied by sine AT. Okay, so this time, we are going to simplify sa aton nga second nga equation. So, aton nga second equation, we are again going to apply the integration by part. So, this time we are going to let u and dv naman luwat. So, let u, so u naton will be, syempre, trigonometric function. So, we have sine 80. Then, ang aton nga dv will be equal to, so take note, may dt na di sa puntahang na limten ta lang. So, we have dv naton will be equal to e raised to negative st dt. So, aton nga du here will be equal to derivative of your sine. So, derivative sa aton nga sine will be equal to, so, derivative sang inner function will be a, derivative sang sine will be cosine a t. So, a cosine AT. Then, we are going to find the v here. So, same lang siya po, we will have negative 1 all over s e raised to, we will have negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. So, next, substitute natin sa aton nga equation. Gamit ang equation nga uv minus integral of v du. Okay, so pwede kita sa aton nga equation. So we will have 1 all over s minus a all over s multiplied by, so evaluate natin uv minus integral of v du. So uv, so this is equal to sine, so we have sine AT multiplied by negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. Then, minus the integral of v du. V du, so this is equal to negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st multiplied by a cosine AT. So, a cosine AT. So take note that since we will be performing definite integral here, we are going to perform the operation here evaluating from your 0 to infinity, and we have your 0 to infinity here. So this time, perform natin ang operation sa aton nga first part sang equation. Okay, so let us copy here 1 all over s. Nagwa may kita negative a all over s multiplied by, so we have performed the operation, substitute natin ang sine, ang aton nga lower kag upper limit. So we have sine, so a times infinity will be equal to infinity, then multiplied by negative 1 all over s e raised to negative s multiplied by your infinity will be equal to infinity. So minus, substitute natin atong lower limit. So we have sine, a multiplied by 0 will be automatically equal to 0. E raised to negative s multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0. Oops, may kulang kita, negative 1 all over s. So we have negative 1 all over s e raised to 0. Then, let us copy the second equation. We have from 0 to infinity of your negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st multiplied by a cosine a t. Okay, so let us simplify sa ating equation. So we have e raised to infinity will be equal to 0. So this is equal to 0 multiplied by any equation here. This entire equation will be equal to 0. Next, sine of your 0 will be equal to 0. So any equation multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0. So 0 lang aton nga first equation. So simplifying, so this is equal to 1 all over s a all over s multiplied by, so wala na ta first equation, so we will have negative from your 0 to infinity of negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st of your a cosine at. Okay, so we are going to equation. So we have, copy ko lang 1 all over s, we will have minus a all over s multiplied by, so take note, your 1 all over s is constant, your a is constant, so pwede na ito ipagwa. So we will have positive times negative will be negative, multiplied by negative will be positive. So this is equal to, so aton equation sa will be a over by from 0 to infinity of your, so unahon ko lang cosine 80, so we will have cosine 80 e raised to negative st. So take note, may ari na d dt ha. So dt. Wala ta na nakopy kagina. So this is aton nga simplified equation subong. So we are going to apply ko siya squared per s squared multiplied by, okay, so bisan di na lang ako magbutang, okay lang man. So integral of the of cosine 80. To inspect the equation, you probably would observe if balikan natin ang equation, to of your 80 negative s. So, balikan natin sa baba. So, this is equal to this one. So, we have sa original equation. So, we have s is equal to, we come up with this. S squared from 0 to infinity of your cosine 80 raised to negative st. So this time, so Take note nga pareho sila nga equation, pwede kita maka-combine terms. So we are going to transpose this sa aton nga right side of equation. So we will have from 0 to infinity of your cosine e raised to negative st dt. So negative, so pag-transpose sa piyak will be, this is dt. So this will be positive na, positive a squared all over s squared from 0 to infinity. So copy natin, we have cosine 80 e raised to negative st, then we have d is equal to, ang mabili na lang sa ating right side of equation will be 1 all over. Okay, so this time, pwede natin i-factor out ang aton nga um, whole equation para makuha natin ng iya value. So, amo yung ginapangitaan natin. So, factor out siya natin. Okay, so pwede ito siya i-factor out. So, this will be ang mabilin sa piyak. So, kung i-factor out ang equation sa mabilin sa iya is 1 plus i-factor out ang bilog na ito. Isang bilog in isolate. So, of your cosine st. So, this is equal to 1 all over s. So, take note nga mo yung ginapangitaan natin ng equation. So, in order to find this equation, kinanglan natin i-divide ang ari nga equation. So, or i-perform mga operation. So, we have okay, let us simplify danay sa aton nga equation diri. So, this will be equal to, so, this will be equal to, so, nagpangita lang ko sa common denominator sila, which is s squared. So, this is then equal to, copy ko lang, we have 0 to infinity of your cosine 80 e raised to negative st dt is equal to 1 all over s. So, to simplify the equation, bisan hindi na kita mag-divide, automatic, we are going to multiply the reciprocal sini sa aton nga both side of the equation. So, we will have to multiply by. So, reciprocal natin will be, dari sa piyak, we will have s squared over s squared plus s squared. Iman sa ating right side of the equation, so we will have s squared all over s squared plus a squared. So, this one, s squared will be cancelled. Ang mabili na lang sa piyak will be sa aton nga integral gali of your 0 to infinity of your cosine 80 e raised to negative st dt. So, amo ni nga itong ginapangita ang equation kagina. This is equal to your f of s. So, this is equal to, so, pwede natin makancel. Pwede kita makancel. Cancel natin ang s. Cancel natin ang squared. So, we will come up with an equation nga ang aton nga answer will be s all over s squared plus a squared. So, aton answer will be s all over s squared plus a squared. So, take note that this is for answering the equation in 80. So, this is equal to s all over s squared plus a squared. So, take note, if ever, for example, you are given the equation, what is the Laplace transform of cosine 5t? So, ano ang Laplace transform ng cosine 5t? So, ang iyang nga Laplace transform will be automatically equal to s all over s squared plus 25. So take note, hapos lang mo siya kung nabalaan mo na nga daan ang imong original equation. But our goal for this week, for this video, is to introduce how the transformation had happened. So, if we will be basing directly on the formulas given, so medyo hapos na lang siya. So we will have s squared plus 25. So kung aware ka man lang sa formula, medyo hapos lang siya. So, bisan for example, we have cosine 3t. So this will be equal to, ang yung mga Laplace transform will be s all over s squared plus 9. So this is, ang bulong man na siya kasimple kung may ara na tasang na-derive nga formula. Another nga logarithmic function or the trigonometric function is the sine function. So sine function, we are going to solve pangitaon man nato ng iyang formula of its Laplace transform. Okay, para sa sine function, so we will be ang aton nga equation wherein ang aton nga f of t will be equal to sine a t. Okay, so substitute natin siya sa aton original equation wherein ang aton nga equation is f of s is equal to the integral from 0 to infinity of your, so substitute ko na lang diretso, we have sine 80. So multiplied by your kernel of transformation, which is e raised to negative st, then so this time, let us again perform the integration by parts. So kabay pa nga pagsulit-sulit natin sang siniya process, medyo natandaan na ka ang aton nga integration by parts nga process. So we have trigonometric and exponential. Here, trigonometric is sine, so we have let it u. So we have sine a t. So derivatives ng imong sine is equal to, so unahon nato ng inner function. So derivative of your at is equal to a. So derivative of your sine is equal to cosine a. Next, dv ang mabiling nga equation. So dv naton is equal to e raised to negative st dt. So this time, pangitaon nato ng v. So medyo aware na kita sini kung ano nga ang value sa aton nga v. So this is equal to negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. So negative st na lang. Wala dt. Okay? So take note, nag-derive kita dari may ara ni siya kada per upod nga dt. So ang muna nga kadulang ating nga dt. So we have to perform the operation. Now we have uv minus integral of v du. So substitute sa equation nga uv minus the integral of v du. So we have to perform the operation. Now substitute na kita diretso. So we are having the equation u naton nga sine negative s. This is evaluated infinity minus the integral from 0 to infinity of your equation v du. V naton will be negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. Then du naton is a cosine 80 dt. Okay, so we are going to perform and evaluate the operation here, substituting our lower and upper limit. So we will have sine of your infinity is equal, so a multiplied by infinity will be equal to infinity. So this is equal to sine of infinity. So this is equal to your infinity multiplied by negative 1 over s Negative s multiplied by infinity, so this is equal to infinity minus, so sine multiplied by automatically equal to 0. So multiplied by negative 1 all over s e raised to negative s multiplied by 0 will be automatically equal to 0. So minus the second equation which is from 0 to infinity. So we have, so pwede natin i-factor out ang a kag 1 over s. So this is equal to a times negative 1 over s, that is negative, multiplied by negative, that is positive. So this is equal to a all over s of your e raised to negative st cosine 80 dt. Okay, so next, let us simplify sa aton nga equation. So, e raised to infinity will be equal to 0. So, all equation will be equal to 0. Next, sine of your sine 0 will be equal to 0. So, all equation will be equal to 0. So, ang mabilin sa aton nga equation will be uh, what remains aton nga equation is ang second term na lang natin. So, we will have equation A all over S multiplied by from 0 to infinity of your e raised to negative and 80 dt. So, amo na ang isubong mabilis sa atin. So, aton u will be equal to cosine 80. Okay, so u will be equal to cosine 80. Then dv natin will be equal to e raised to negative st dt. So, derivative of u will be equal to, so automatic na na negative kay equal to negative so of your una to ng inner function, this is equal to a, derivative of cosine is sine, so copy ang inner function nga 80. And then ang aton nga v will be equal to negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st. So nag-derive kita, so we have dt here. So let us perform the operation ng v minus integral of v du. So uv, so we have cosine 80 multiplied by negative 1 to okay, negative so minus the integral from 0 to infinity. So this is also evaluated from 0 to infinity of your v du. So v du will be negative 1 all over s e raised to negative st and then du which is negative a sine 80. Okay, so let us simplify the equation now. So let us substitute sa ating lower kag upper limit. So we have copy a by. So substituting sa aton nga upper limit, so we will have cosine. So a by infinity will be equal to negative s multiplied by infinity will be equal to will have cosine a multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0. Then we have negative 1 all over s e raised to negative s multiplied by 0 will be equal to 0. So minus minus the integral of from 0 to infinity of your, so pagwa ko na lang daan, so negative times negative will be positive, multiplied by negative will be negative. So this is equal to a all over s of your, so pauna ko lang ang sign, we will have sine 80, then we have e raised to negative st dt. Okay, so let us simplify the equation. So cosine, or I mean, we have e raised to infinity. So this is equal to 0. So we have 0 here. So automatically, ang whole ng equation or the all of this first equation, I mean, will be equal to 0. Next, cosine natin. So cosine will be this cosine natin nga will be equal to cosine of 0 will be equal to 1. E raised to 0 will be equal to 1. So, ang mabilin sa sining natin ng equation will be positive kay negative 1 over s multiplied by negative will be positive 1 all over s. So, this is, so copy ko ang a all over s multiplied by 1 all over s minus, so all over s, then we have your integral from 0 to infinity of your sine 80 e raised to negative st d. Okay, so para masapos sa aton, distribute ko lang ni sa sulod para hindi ta mabudayan. S squared multiplied by infinity of your sine 80 e raised to negative st. So again, parehas lang natabo sa sine kay sa aton cosine function kagina, we arrived with the same function gina nga given naton. So this is the same sa aton nga given nga function. So same japon nga process sa ginhibon aton kagina, we have to equate this sa aton nga fs. So take note that we are given the f of which is equal sa same nga function which is integral of 0 to infinity of your sine 80 of your sine 80 e raised to negative okay, 80 e raised to negative 2 a all over s squared minus e squared all over s squared of your 0 to infinity sine 80 e raised to negative st dt. Okay, this time, pares ang ginhimo naton sa cosine kagina, pwede naton makombine ang like terms. We have adding a term, ang adding a term, so pwede natin makombine. So we have to transpose it to the left side of the we will have so we have to copy 0 to infinity. So this is ma-positive na siya. So we have a squared all over s squared 0 to infinity of your sine 80. So this is sine 80 0 to infinity of your sine 80 e raised to negative st negative st dt. So this, ang mabilin sa aton right side of the equation will be, ari na lang ang equation. So we have a all over s squared. Okay? So pwede na to ni factor out ang common nga term. So pwede na to ni isolate ang ari nga function. Pareho sila dua. So pwede na to siya i-factor out. So ang mabilin diri is 1. So ang mabilin diri is a squared plus a squared. So we will have multiplied by equation 0 to infinity. We have sine 80 e raised to sine a t e raised to negative st dt. So which is equal to a all over s squared. This time, same man Japan sa kinhimo natin kagina, we can multiply sang reciprocal niya both side of the equation. So, but simplified natin danay, pangitawon natin yung common denominator para mas apos sa aton. So, we will have s squared. So, we will have s squared plus a squared multiplied by the equation integral of sine 80 e raised to negative st dt is equal to a all over s squared. So multiply kita sa reciprocal sini. So we will have reciprocal niya will be we will have s squared all over s squared plus a squared. So pwede na kita maka-cancel. So s squared cancel out. Squared plus a squared cancel out. The remand, so we will have s squared, we will have s squared here. So that means, yung aton dili nga Laplace transform will be equal to, so equal lang siya sa a all over s squared plus a squared. And this is for your Laplace transform of sine a t. Okay, so kabay pa nga medyo aga-amat-amat na klaro ang derivation. So, simple na lang siya if nabalaan na ni nato ang aring equation. So, we have a all over s squared plus a squared. So, bisan any value pa na isang constant na rin, pwede natin makuha ang Laplace transform. So, for example, we are given isang sine of 5t. Okay, so we have sine of 5t. Then, papangita sa imong yung Laplace transform. So, automatically, that will be equal to, so, constant natin yung 5 sa babaw, all over s squared plus square sa aton constant, which is equal to 25. So, mulang man ang iyang Laplace transform. Automatic. So, this is it para sa derivation naton sa ating sine kag cosine Laplace transform. So, I do hope medyo naglaro na kag nakabalik na kamo sa integration by parts nga concept, medyo naplastar sa inyo liwat. So, I do hope that this would help in the understanding of Laplace transform. So, thank you everyone. Stay safe, good, and God bless.